Well, hello everyone and a happy Friday. Hopefully everyone's ready for today's upload. So in today's upload, I provide you with the only and the last grounded beginner's guide you will ever need. So make sure you hit that like button, make sure you leave a comment down below and let me know if you found this video helpful, and also make sure you hit that subscribe button to support me even further. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So in this guide for Grounded, I'll be showing you the best way to start and survive day one. The tutorial does a really good job in showing you the ropes, but this is my preferred way to start the game, and I'll be showing you the best tips, where to place your base, and where the key items are you need to craft to give yourself the best head start possible early game. There are many ways to start Grounded, but this method for me is a great way to best prepare yourself for mid and late game. This game is a ton of fun and there is so much to do in this game. There's plenty to explore, plenty to craft, and there's a great allure to the game as well. So when I first start the game, what I like to do is to grab everything. And when I say everything, I mean grab everything you see. Focus mainly on plant fiber, pebblets, sprigs and sap. These all play a vital role in this game, as you will see later. Other things you want to focus on is collecting consumables like these mushrooms. They are a great food resource early game and there are plenty of them. Food and water management in this game are going to be a key part. Water is going to be the difficult one to manage, but either early morning or early evening, if you look on the blades of grass, you will see water droplets like this. If you get close enough to a water droplet, you can sip the water and replenish your thirst, or if you can't find a way to get high enough and close enough to it, you can always hit the blade of grass with either your weapon or a fist, and you will notice the droplet will drop down, allowing you to collect the water this way. So as you continue collecting these resources and following the tutorial, you will be led to this research center here. This is where you will find the analysis machine and your first bunch of crafting recipes. Here you will also find either folders or tapes which are part of the lore, so they are definitely worth a read and a listen. So when you have access to the analysis machine, this might come across as daunting or confusing, but I promise you it's not. The first three things you want to analyze are the pebblet, the plant fiber and sap. This is so you can craft what you need early game without doing any backtracking, or as little backtracking as possible. As you analyze these items, you will notice that you will get raw resource as well. Raw resource is collected and then your brain power level will increase. This will allow you to unlock more recipes, but we'll go through that a bit more later. On the right side of the screen, you'll notice you have analyzer charges. You have 3 charges at present, allowing you to only analyze 3 items. This does recharge and tell you when the next charge is due. Now this will recharge at a rate of 1 hour in-game time or 1 minute real time, so they do charge up relatively quickly. Another thing I would like to add is to make sure you analyze everything. So that's everything that you collect or anything that you craft. Make sure you do analyze everything as soon as you possibly can. So the next thing you want to do while following the tutorial and making your way to the mysterious machine is to craft 3 important things that allow you to complete the next part of the tutorial. The things you need to craft are a pebblet hammer, a pebblet axe, and a torch. You may only be able to craft an axe and a torch at the moment, but don't worry, after this next small step you'll have enough raw resource and brain power level to unlock the pebblet hammer as well. So when you do, make sure you craft that as soon as possible. So when you arrive at the mysterious machine and activate it, you will notice 3 lasers. You will notice one is being blocked by a blade of grass. This is a simple task to complete. All you need to do is chop down this blade of grass with your axe and the problem is solved. So after you've done that, I recommend you gather a load more resources and then head back to the analysis machine so you can analyze them and get some more raw resources to unlock level 1 brain power, which will allow you to craft the hammer. So make sure you craft the hammer and the torch as well, ready for the next part. Now for the next part, you will notice that one of the lasers isn't quite working properly, so you just want to head towards that. On your way there, you may also want to craft a spear as well. Now I prefer to use the hammer over the spear. Although the spear is quicker, I prefer using the hammer due to its chance to stun enemies. So as you head towards this laser, you will notice this cable and you will come across your first hostile enemies. Now these are only mites, but they can be overwhelming in numbers, especially in this your first playthrough. But don't worry too much, this is good practice to learn how to block and attack. So as you get rid of these mites and you follow the cable, you'll be greeted with their cave entrance. And this is where the torch comes in handy. So you want to head on into the cave with your torch. You just want to finish off off all the mites you can see and explore the cave. Now in previous versions of games there were more resources in this cave that you could collect, but in the newer version there isn't at this moment in time. But when you reach the end of the cave you will find a scab. Now this is just an aesthetic feature which allows you to change the type of display you have on your menu. So after we have cleared out all the mites in the cave, we want to head back to the machine, and once you head back to the machine you want to activate it. There is a cutscene here which is part of the story, so I will leave that for you to explore yourselves. So with that part of the tutorial done, we want to prepare ourselves for our next step, which will be base building. Now what we want to do is to head to the next area, which is the oak tree, and here is my favourite place to build my base. There's plenty of reasons why this is my favourite place to build my base, especially for early game and even into mid game and late game. So on your way towards the oak tree, make sure you grab plenty of clover on your travels. This will be used to craft your first armour, but we'll go through that a bit later once we get our base built. Now on your way to the oak tree you will come across your first slurp drink. There are 3 of these scattered around, and there is a bonus if you manage to find all 3. These work in similar way as the water droplets. You will see them on the floor coming out of the straw here, and you can just slurp them and it will replenish your water and a tiny bit of food as well. They're definitely worth grabbing at every opportunity you get. So here we are at the base of the oak tree, and the perfect place to build your base. Now for first time players, this location can be quite dangerous during the day and the night. The biggest threat you want to watch out for is these spiders. The spiders are quite quiet and they can surprise you and jump out at you, and trust me, it can be scary at times. But if you just keep your wits about you and try and avoid them, you'll be fine. So you don't need to worry too much about them at all. So don't let them put you off this location, because there are plenty more positives to this location. For example, you've got plenty of access to sap, you've got a great big sap bunch here, and you've got plenty of other opportunities to get sap. There's plenty of grass braids and plenty of clovers as well, and there's fibres scattered all over the floor. Another massive plus for this location is the plentiful supply of acorns. Now, acorns are used for building and construction, and also available for armour. Acorns are a big must in the mid and late game. Now there's a lot of controversy with my location. A lot of people recommend placing your early game base near the starting area, but I have to say I strongly disagree with this one. I find that this is by far the best area to set up your base early game. So just here on this fence here, which is easy enough to get to from the base of the log, this is where you'll be building your base. Now the first 3 things you want to build from your crafting menu is a lean-to, a spit roast and a storage container. Now the spit roast allows you to cook food, which is ideal for your food management, and the lean-to allows you to set a respawn point and allows you to sleep through the night. Now you need to be careful with sleeping too early, as if you do sleep too early you will wake up in the dark, and let's face it, no one likes roaming in the dark, especially when there's plenty of spiders roaming around. Now once you've got them 3 things built, what you want to do is you want to build a workbench. Next, the workbench is the first thing you will craft that requires grass planks. These are easy enough to get hold of. You just need to chop down a grass blade and you'll be able to pick up grass planks. Now you can only carry 3, they won't go in your inventory, so you'll have to hold them and carry them back. So once your workbench is built, this will unlock more crafting recipes for you. The first thing I advise you to craft is some armor. Now for me, the best early game armor is the clover armor. Now the protection on the clover armor isn't great, don't get me wrong, but it's enough to start, especially in the early game. But the main reason why this armor is so great for early game players and new players is its bonus to stay full and hydrated for longer. So this is a massive boost while you're still getting all set up, and it also provides you with a small amount of protection. So before we get a good night rest after a long day, you need to make sure you have some food prepared for the morning. So after you've had a good rest, grab yourself some food and rehydrate. And now it's time to head to the Oak Lab and proceed to the next part of the story. Now another reason why this location is so great is you can actually make it to the Oak Lab without needing to touch the ground, so you don't have to worry about any of the bugs or the insects. You can just safely make it to the lab. So once you've made it to the lab and you've gone through the cutscenes and that for the story, which I won't show because I don't want to spoil any of it for you. Make sure you explore this area thoroughly. There are plenty of loose resources that you can grab, and I do highly recommend grabbing them as it will save you a lot of time. Now, in the previous versions you would need to speak to the NPC for quests and for the raw science menu, but now you can access it via the console. Now, I recommend trying to complete all your daily quests all the time, as they are a great way to get raw science, and you need lots of raw science to unlock brain power levels, therefore unlocking more crafting recipes and upgrades that are otherwise not available in the game. So the first one that I would highly recommend getting is the smithing table. The smithing table, once crafted, will help you with weapon and armor upgrades. Now from then on you can just save your raw resource points. Now from then on you can just save your raw science points and you can just spend them on whatever you feel suits your best playstyle. And there we are, everyone, we have completed the first part of the game. We are all set up and ready to do some more exploring, do some more crafting, and prepare ourselves for the next stage in the story. So I highly recommend going out there and seeing what goodies you can find. If you did enjoy the video and found it helpful, make sure you hit that like button. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well so you don't miss any more content. And thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.